Hey everyone, Simon Coveney, the former Fine Gael politician, government minister and deputy leader of Fine Gael for over 7 years, who recently retired before the last general election, has landed a new plum job with Ernst Young, an organisation that offers tax, auditing, legal and advisory services. They're a global organisation that advises global corporations. They're very, very wealthy in society as well. And of course, this is a perfect fit for Simon Coveney. Ernst Young stated that they're very pleased to have Simon Coveney on board. And they also stated that he has a long and distinguished career in public service. Well, I'm sure a lot of people here will fundamentally disagree with that point of view. As Simon Coveney said, he was delighted to be appointed to their geopolitical strategic unit as a consultant. Simon Coveney. Ernst Young, of course. Let's talk a little bit about Ernst Young first before we go on to Coveney. Everybody knows about Coveney. But Ernst Young had a fine recently of over $100 million. That was a record amount fine upon any sort of auditing company. We all know about the 4 big auditing companies such as Deloitte, PwC, KPMG and Ernst Young, but they themselves were fined $100 million because their US accountants cheated on their exams. And wait for it, they cheated on the ethics part of the exams, the ethics component of the exams. They cheated on. They're supposed to be auditing accounts, aren't they? Fair and impartial and unbiased. Recently as well, they've been fined over £5 million in Britain because of auditing failures around Thomas Cook. Remember the travel agent that went bust a number of years ago when so many employees were left high and dry, not to mention people who had booked holidays as well through Thomas Cook in Ireland and across England as well. But they were fined $5 million in consideration of auditing failures regarding Thomas Cook. And also here domestically and nationally in Ireland, we all know them from the Anglo-Irish bank failures, where they were fined by the Irish Banking Resolution Corporation in the fallout of that financial crash. And of course, because of, surprise, surprise, auditing failures as well. And there were government auditors on many, many projects as well. The government appointed them and the first people to appoint them on many projects. We all know about the government's overspending, especially when it comes to enhancing and propping up the private sector and the public-private partnerships and all these sort of deals that are going on. We all know about the OPW scandals as well. But it's interesting because they were involved in the collapse of Lehman Brothers as well. So it is a good fit for Coveney, and they lobby the Irish government. Surprise, surprise. I think they've had 35 or 36 times they've been named on the lobbying register over the past 4 to 5 years as well. But of course they'll be working on big tax planning and tax avoidance practices for the giant corporations and the billionaires. But of course Coveney is a perfect fit for this because he's done the bidding when he's been in government. Coveney himself went to Clongowes Wood, a privately educated schoolboy from Cork who came up to Clongowes Wood in Kildare, where fees are about €20,000 per year. So of course he's part of that set that went on to control Ireland, much the same as his legacy from his father before him. And as we all know about his brother's involvement with RTE and the toy show, the musical. Do you remember that? With Rory Coveney. Of course he was chair of Green Corps as well, Coveney's brother. So very top of Irish society in terms of business life as well. Now, he was also Minister for Agricultural, Fisheries and Marine from 2011 to 2016, and there's litany of failures in that department in terms of lack of environmental practices and also around issues around decimating the fisheries industry. We all know about the sell-off of our fishery rights all across the European Union. Well, Coveney had a big part in that, pushing this agenda as well. And of course he was Housing and Homelessness Minister, and he famously said that there would be nobody else in emergency accommodation by the 1st of July 2017. 8 years on, there's record amount of people in this so-called emergency accommodation. But of course, listen, Simon Coveney, he's doing the bidding of the big landlords and the vulture funds and the developers. And of course he met with Peter Sutherland at the clandestine meeting of the Bilderberg Group back in Copenhagen in 2014 as well, pushing the globalist narrative as well. Now Coveney as well was Minister for Foreign Affairs, key actor in dismantling the triple lock and moving towards more European Union battle groups, PESCO deals, the use of Shannon by the US military, and litany of failures in around our defence forces, ran down the conditions of working fleet of our naval service, not to mention the issues around the Women of Honour campaign as well that he ignored for a few number of years as well. Not to mention he had his great shenanigans and a nice do during COVID in the Department of Foreign Affairs in Ivy House, where he had a champagne reception because Ireland were awarded a seat on the UN Security Council. Remember that? Well, Coveney doesn't want you to remember that. And not to mention his dealings with Catherine Zappone, where he made up a job with the United Nations for Zappone, apparently for a special envoy for freedom of expression. You couldn't make it up for Catherine Zappone. And of course she organised another shindig in the 5-star Marion Hotel in Dublin for all his pals, and of course Varadkar, I think, was in attendance of that as well, to say thank you. But of course you only fail upwards in Irish society, and even Micheál Martin has said he's a committed public servant. You couldn't make this up. Fully signed up member of being a globalist, European Union agenda, neoliberal agenda, and has caused a litany of failures in Irish society as well. And Simon Harris said when he was leaving politics that he has an outstanding footprint. Well, the real issue is that we all know that the veneer of these politicians has been ripped away. We've seen recently Varadkar moving into a lobbying position with a company called Pantar, who are based in the United States. We've also seen Coveney moving on as well. And now they're moving for the actors that they represent when they're in government. So the veil should be ripped away from who they fundamentally represent. They don't represent the interests of ordinary people. They're not committed public servants. They're committed to the private vested interests in society that cause so much havoc around people's lives. We see record homelessness, record rents, house prices. We see the litany of failures of government policies, not to mention meeting his friend, the globalist master himself, Sutherland of the Bilderberg Group, former Attorney General, head of Goldman Sachs, at these clandestine meetings where it's just all WEF nonsense being spilled down the throats of ordinary people. But Coveney, fail upwards in Irish society, onto Ernst Young he goes, and I'm sure it's a perfect fit for a company that's mired in corruption themselves. So thanks for the support of my videos, really appreciate them, and please press like, share my videos, and please subscribe to my channel also as well. And if you can't support me, please to buy me a coffee as well. Link will be in the comments at the end of this video as well. So thanks everybody who continues to support me through that as well. Thanks a lot. Take care. Slán.